Ah, the dreaded moving gap. We've all heard the horror stories, right? You've got to be out of your old place on Friday, but you can't get the keys to the new one until Monday. So, where does all your stuff go? Well, today on The Explainer, we're diving into a really slick solution for that classic moving day headache.
Here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll nail down the in-between problem. Then we'll look at the all-in-one solution. After that, we'll put it head-to-head with self-storage, talk about what you can and can't stash away, and finally get into the nitty-gritty of security and cost. Okay, so let's jump right in. Before we can talk about a solution, we've got to understand the problem. And honestly, it's a situation that's way more common than you'd think.
This is the big one. The classic scenario. Your settlement dates just don't line up, or maybe your new lease doesn't start for another week. All of a sudden, you're looking at a whole house full of furniture with absolutely nowhere to put it. It is, without a doubt, one of the most stressful parts of the whole moving process.
But you know, it's not always about a gap in dates. Maybe you want to paint or redo the floors in your new place before all the heavy furniture gets in the way. Or hey, maybe you're downsizing and you just need some breathing room to figure out what stays and what goes. All of these situations create a real need for some kind of temporary, secure storage.
So what's the answer that actually simplifies all this mess? Let's take a look at how this all builds into one single, integrated, and honestly, pretty stress-free option.
It's called Removalist storage, and it is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. Instead of you trying to juggle a moving company and a separate storage facility, your movers handle the entire thing. It's a complete start-to-finish service designed to take the whole process off your plate.
And the process itself, it's incredibly hands-off for you. The pros come in, they pack and load everything, they drive it to their own secure facility where it's stored, and then, whenever you give them the green light, they bring it all to your new home. It boils everything down to just one company, one point of contact. Simple.
Now I know what you're probably thinking. Wait a minute, isn't that just self-storage? And that's a fair question. So let's put them side by side and see how they really stack up.
Here is the absolute fundamental difference. Self-storage is a do-it-yourself project. You rent the space, you pack the truck, you haul it there, you unload it. Removalist storage is a done-for-you service. The pros handle all the transport and, most importantly, all the heavy lifting.
Let's really break down these trade-offs, because this is important. With removalist storage, convenience is the huge win. Movers do the lifting and logistics are a breeze. The main trade-off? Access. You usually need to schedule a time to get to your stuff. It's not like you can just pop by 24/7. Cost-wise, bundling the move and storage can often save you money compared to hiring movers and renting a unit separately. Here's a good rule of thumb. If you only need storage for a short time, like a few weeks connected to your move, the bundled price is almost always going to be the better deal.
Okay, so you're warming up to the idea. But what exactly can you put in removalist storage? And more importantly, is there anything that's a definite no? Let's find out.
The great news is that you can store pretty much all of your typical household goods. We're talking the big stuff like sofas, beds, refrigerators, right down to all those boxes of clothes, books, and kitchen gadgets. Basically, if it's in your house right now, they can probably store it.
However, there are a few really important exceptions, and this is all about safety and hygiene. You can't store hazardous materials. Think flammable liquids, propane tanks, explosives. That's a definite no-go. Perishables like food and plants are also out, as are live animals, and, well, this should go without saying, but anything illegal is obviously off the table. It's all about keeping the facility safe for everyone.
And what about your most valuable things? You know, the stuff that makes you a little nervous. For fragile items like artwork, family heirlooms, or sensitive electronics, professional movers have special solutions. Don't be afraid to ask them about things like custom-built crates or even climate-controlled units that protect against humidity and big temperature swings.
All right, this brings us to the really practical questions, the ones everyone wants to know. Is it safe? Am I covered if something goes wrong? And, of course, what's this going to cost me? Let's dig into the fine print.
Reputable companies do not mess around when it comes to security. We're talking multiple layers of protection. Think 24/7 video surveillance, secure gated access, individual alarms on the storage units, and staff on site. The whole system is designed to give you some serious peace of mind.
Now, insurance is absolutely critical, so listen up. Most good movers offer policies that cover two distinct phases. There's transit insurance for when your stuff is actually on the truck, and then there's storage insurance for the time it's sitting in the unit. Just make sure you actually read the policy so you understand any exclusions, especially if you decide to pack your own boxes.
So, how do they calculate the final bill?
Well, it really depends on a few key things: how much stuff you have, how long you need to store it, and any extra services you want, like professional packing. Now, here's a pro tip for you. When you're getting quotes, always ask for an itemized breakdown. That way you can see exactly what the moving part costs versus what the storage part costs. It makes comparing different companies so much easier.
And you know, that really is the whole point. Moving is already complicated enough. Bundling these services together is all about streamlining the logistics, cutting down the number of things you personally have to worry about, and just turning a super stressful time into a much smoother, more positive experience.
So, the next time you find yourself staring down that gap between two homes, just ask yourself this: could an all-in-one service like this take your biggest moving headache and turn it into the easiest part of the whole process? It's definitely something worth thinking about.